Hi, it's Christopher Dean and welcome to part 12 of a tutorial series where we build a design system in Sketch. This time we're doing tabs and tables. Okay, and let's take a look at what we're doing. We've got some tabs here that can be swapped out from the active state to an inactive state. They can be resized and even reshuffled. Let's undo that, come back to the table where I'm using the Auto Layout plugin from Anima to be able to do things like this. Expand rows and have it snap into place. You can even change the order of rows if you like. But with alternate coloring like that, you probably won't do that, but same with the tabs, you can resize this. All right. And to install these plugins, let's go and have a look at the website you need to go to. For Auto Layout, just go to animaapp.github.io, put in your email and select download. For Craft from InVision, go to the envisionapp.com/craft site and enter your email and do the same thing. Once they've downloaded and installed, make sure you run some updates for them if they need them, restart them, and then restart Sketch. And let's jump into Abstract and start this branch. Once we're in Abstract, we're going to go to the top right, select New Branch, enter Tabs and Tables, select Create Branch, go to the top right again and select Edit in Sketch. Okay, let's go and have a look at the Craft plugin from InVision. I've only turned on data because I'm going to be using that to fill in the table once I've made it. But if we go up to the Craft Manager up here, Sync and Prototype, which is taking the work that you're doing in Sketch and syncing it to the InVision platform to then prototype. I've got early access to Design System Manager, which is coming in handy. I've got Library, Freehand, Stock, Duplicate, and Data. Some craft tools for Photoshop. So you can install it and then go to Discover Me and find out more about it. I'm going to close that, go over to Plugins, Anima Toolkit. I've been using this since the beginning of the series, but we're going to be using a new feature today called Stacks. And that allows us to do that shuffling that you saw earlier. Let's close that, go over to the Symbols page. We can see the images artboard that we made last time. I'm going to duplicate that and drag it over. Place it at 7,500. Zoom in a little bit. Delete these two headings. Change this one to Tabs and Table. This one is, you guessed it, Tabs and Tables or Table. Let's just keep it at Table for now. We're going to turn on our guides. Zoom in. Create a rectangle by selecting Rectangle here or selecting R on your keyboard. Drag it out to 240 by 48. We're going to come over to our layer styles. Select Shape, Line Gray 1 pixel center. And we're going to need an inside style for this, so let's zoom back out. Go over to our lines here. Duplicate this rectangle, move it over. Move it into light gray. Change its shared style to Shape, Line Light Gray 1 pixel center. Change center to inside. Drop this down and go Create New Layer Style. And change center at the end to inside. Let's go back to our tabs artboard and name it tabs and table. Let's just go with tabs and tables. Replace images with that there, and we're all set. Let's zoom back in again to where we were. Select the box we just made and change this to 1 pixel inside. Okay, now we're going to need some text, so let's use our type tool by selecting T on your keyboard. Coming over and changing it to DTP, P again, black, left. This is going to be our label. Now, we want that to be center, so let's just drop this down and swap it over. Turn on our grid, zoom in, stretch this out to 16 pixels from each side. Select the text and the box and align them vertically. Okay, we can probably move that up 1. All right, so we've got our first tab, but you can see that there's a line at the bottom. We need to hide this, so when we place a line behind all of the tabs, it looks like a line goes along, up, along, down, and along again. How can we do that? Let's move this up, and its label up. Group those 2 layers, and name this tab / tab active. We're going to turn on our grid again, duplicate the rectangle, call the one at the bottom mask. This can be tab, group those, rename that, tab, turn the mask on, select the mask again and change its color to white. Now we're going to select the tab layer and give it 1 pixel more in height. And we can see now that we just have a line going up, along, and down. All right, so let's turn that into a symbol. Double click on it. It's way over here. Drag it back into place. On top of the one we just made. Clean up its layers. We only want the type and the tab folder. Delete that one. Gonna collapse all of our layers. Move this artboard up below the one we just made. Go into it and delete the symbol that was placed there. Okay, let's change this to label. And that's it for the active one. We're going to turn on our grid again and our guides. Duplicate this one. Select it and change its name to inactive. We only need that mask layer, or really the tab layer. So let's delete the mask. We can keep that like that. Change its color to color light gray 1. Select the label and change it to DTP gray 2 center. Okay, and that's it for the inactive one. Let's go to our artboards. Place the tab active. Then place the tab inactive right next to it. Okay, we need to clean something up, and I think you know what I did wrong. We're going to take this back to 48 in height. Let's turn off all of our guides so we can see this clearly. Okay, and there you go. Let's duplicate the inactive one a couple of times. We'll give it 5 of them. We're going to select all of these and group them. Let's just call them tabs. Select that folder, zoom out and go up to the top right and align it to the center. Turn on our guides and grid again. Okay, and we're going to need a line that goes the full length of the content width. So I'm going to select line from here, just drag it out, go to shape, line gray 1 pixel, center. Drag that to there, drag it over to the left-hand side of the content area and change its width to 1408. All right, but it needs to be behind everything, doesn't it? So let's drag it to there. Turn off all of our guides. Okay, we've got our tabs, but let's add some auto layout stacks and make them a bit more manageable. So we're going to select all of these again. Make another group. We could call this tab set. And then go down to the right and select this icon here. Create a stacked group. And it's going to automatically pick up on where you want them to be. We could add some space between each one, but we don't need to. And now we've got this little icon here with the 3 dots in it. That means that I can drag this one over here and drop it, and the rest move out of the way. And now we can add some names to them. I'm going to add animal names. So I'm going to go to craft data. Okay. You can go to the bottom and go add item. I'm going to scroll down and select animals. I'm going to select it. Let's go with both. Just press OK a couple of times. All right, we've got Murphy, Ginger, Misty, Precious, and George. That's just lovely, isn't it? Let's go back to the symbols page. Zoom back out. Bring our table header up to here. That'll do. We're going to duplicate tab active and bring it down. I'm going to move it to the top. Zoom in, make sure it's positioned properly. And I'm going to call this table/table header. You could call it table head, that's up to you. We're going to go into it. Delete the mask, move this back out, change tab to cell, select it and select color primary 100%. Make its height 40, change the height of the symbol to 40. Change the label to DT P strong white left. We're going to move that over. Turn on our grid. pretty good. Then we're going to change the name of it to /left, because we're going to give you the option to have a left, center, or right aligned cell. We're going to select the background, go over to resizing and select all of the options. Select the label, select the left and right and turn off fixed height. We're going to zoom out and duplicate this twice. Going to rename this one to center and this one to right. I'm going to select the label inside the center one and change it to P strong white center. Select it again and align to the middle, to the top right here. Select this label and select P strong white right. Okay, we're going to center this one again. All right. Let's duplicate the last one. Bring it over. Select DT, P, black, left. Bring it over to 16 pixels from the left and right. Select the background and select color, white. Change this to left. Now I'm going to give you the option to swap out the background color. So we're only going to make one set of normal cells. So let's change table header to table cell. Select the background, group it, change this to cell, change that to mask, bring in color white symbol, set it to 0, 0, and then resize it to fill in the whole cell. Change this to cell color. I don't think we need the mask. Let's delete it, because it's either going to be white or light gray. Okay, with the color symbol selected, go over to resizing and turn them all on. Zoom out and duplicate it twice, just like we did with the cell header. Change this one to center. This one to right. Change this to P black center. Select it again and align it. Change this to P black right. Select it again and center it. All right, we're ready to build a table. Let's go back here. Turn on our grid and our guides. Drop in the table header, left. Let's zoom in and position it properly. And I'm going to make a column. So the next one is going to be a table cell, which is also left. And that's going to snap right underneath this. Okay, we want to move it below it. Duplicate it a few more times. Move those down. And this should be all we need, because we're going to grab every second one by holding down Shift and clicking on them. Let's make sure they're all selected. Go over to cell color and change this to color light gray 2. That's giving us a very light tint for the alternate rows. Okay, let's select all of them, group them, and call this col1. We're then going to group this again, call this table. We're going to go down to the stack feature, turn it on, and again, it's automatically done that. So now we can move these around and they will snap into place. Let's duplicate this column, move this one over. Rename that number 2. Grab this one and move it over. Okay, and do this again until we have 4 columns. I'm then going to select the table group, turn on stacks for that as well. Let's make our second column wider to 448. Where did that push them? Okay, I'm going to turn on our layout settings. Let's go to 568. Or even further to 600. We're almost there. 688. There you go. Okay, so column 1, 3 and 4 are the same size, and this could be a bit of a description. So let's select that label and change it to author. Grab this one, change it to title. Select this one, change it to date. This one, and change it to time. Let's click and drag to select all of these. Go to data. Scroll up to names. Select both. Okay. Do the same thing for the next set. Change that to headline. And let's go with travel. Okay, let's come over. Select all of these, go to date, and I'll just go for the first one. And lastly, all the time ones. Okay, do we have time? Yes, you can edit. Select it and select both. All right, let's just save where we are. Now I think I just need to fix something. Let's select all of these, resize them. Okay, yeah. Let's go back into the symbol. Select the labels. And select fix height. Let's do that for these as well. And while we're at it, let's go up to the tabs, turn resizing on for all of them. And set the labels the same as the table cells. Okay, that looks like it fixed it. So let's just select these and reset their height to 40. And let's change this to center. Select all the columns, change them to center. Select time, change that to right. Select all the columns and change this to right. And that's why we made those extra symbols, so you can actually do that. Now I noticed something I was testing out before. If I select the tab and change the name, let's just call this name, it'll change. if I selected this column, which is using the same way to enter data into it, and change this to name, it doesn't change. So this must be a bug in the Craft plugin. Let's select another one and see if that's also true. No. So I'm going to undo a lot of what I've just done. Okay. Good. These still can be changed. How am I going to reset these? Let's change them all to tab active. See if they can be overridden. Good. Let's change these to inactive. And that's come back. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so it looks like the better option would be for you to enter your labels manually. And that's not so bad. The Craft plugin does support JSON as well. So if you've got a data source that's in the JSON format that suits these labels, it'll populate them as well. But it still looks a bit buggy. And that's interesting because this plugin's been out for a long time. Maybe it's just because of the new version of Sketch. I've gone up to 50.2 at the moment. That could be it, even though I updated both Sketch and the plugin. So what was meant to be a really awesome way for you to do that and then override it again has now become a bit troublesome. So let's reset these. I'm just going to delete those. I'm going to bring in those inactive ones again. Duplicate them. Okay. So when you download the file for this, these will be in here for you to start playing around with them. Just going to go in and see if the other changes I made have been kept. No, so I'm going to go fixed height. Do that with these as well. Reset their resizing. Okay, and we're done. Let's just save where we are. Go down to Preview and Commit in the Abstract panel. Enter tabs and tables done. Go to the bottom right and select Commit Changes. Okay, and there we go. Now we're going to go up to the top right and go Merge Branch. Select Merge and Archive. Great. So that's it for this one. I hope you guys have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.